Just right behind me is the City Tissue Factory. For the first time, a Ugandan investor has decided to invest into toilet paper issue. Globally, as we speak right now, companies producing tissue paper consume about 27,000 of trees to produce this factory. Mr. Magembe is not producing at all any of this tissue using trees, but he is using recycled paper. And this is what you're seeing me holding here right now. And this is his final product, which is now yet to see the boundaries crossed. Although starting up factories directly benefits the economy and its people, many entrepreneurs and traders have chosen to import goods from abroad. A belief and a norm Mr. Magembe and his wife are trying to change in this new era. Mr. Magembe's hunger to thrive in business started way back in the 1970s when he bought his first car, a Ford Cortina UUD 700 Mark II, whose features he still recalls. This same courage has lived in his blood till today in the area of Matuga Sanga, where he constructed a factory producing toilet paper.
You don't have to begin big, you have to begin small and go on correcting your mistakes, making mistakes, correcting them, you know. And as you are beginning, as you are small, the mistakes are small. As you grow big, the mistakes grows big. But when you are already big, you can afford to correct the big mistakes. But when you begin big and you get big mistakes, it is a challenge to correct them because they can bring you down in lumps, like a boom.
The Chinese play a vital role and cannot be neglected in building a factory, as it is known and dates way back in history that they were the first to produce toilet tissue. It's even a culture in the Chinese not to wash hands, but one product that grew into developed nations like the USA, who started producing various colors to attract clients. An idea Mr. Magembe wants to introduce, citing colored paper, is much cheaper because it's easier, especially with recycled paper. What colors remain rather than buying expensive chemicals to make it white.
The idea came like in 2009. That's when he hatched the idea, he himself. It was his idea, not mine. Yeah. So I kind of tried to discourage him because I want to be sincere. I was scared. I didn't know we could manage. So I told him, no, we can't do it. He said, I've deposited the money. By the time he hatched the idea, he had already even made up his mind. He had already deposited the money. So by the time he came to me for advice, he was already determined. So even if I tried to discourage him, it didn't work. So I had an option, but to encourage him.
Then you got a loan. You got a loan from a bank?
Yeah, I got a loan from Bank of Baroda. We already had an overdraft, but overdraft was already in the operating other businesses. So we had to get a loan for the machinery. So when we got the loan, he went ahead and deposited on the machinery, ordered for the machinery. They started making the machinery for us. Then they loaded the machinery. But now when the machinery came, the loan was exhausted. The money was not enough now. We wanted to begin, we wanted to install, we wanted everything that goes with the beginning. So we had to look for more money from somewhere else, here and there from the other businesses. Then this year, last year, September, because we purchased this plot of land and the same time when he hatched the idea, that's when he said, I must first buy the plot of land where to put the machine. That was the same year, 2009. But then when the machinery came, we spent like 6 months before transporting it here because there was no structure. Yes. So when the machinery came, it came with the Chinese, the engineers, because it was a package. Although we had to pay everything, but it is a package. They can't allow you to install the machine because they want to install it themselves because they don't want you to complain afterwards that the machines don't work. So it is like a must. they have to come to install their machines. So the same time, the time when they came is when we transported the machinery here. So there was no structure. We just put plain in the field there, as you see there. The Chinese started making their own level. Here, there was no structure, there was nothing, no roof, no nothing.
You know, when I hatched the idea of making the toilet paper machine, we had to make inquiries. And when we made inquiries, we found that the Chinese machine was almost 1/10 of other factories, like from Germany, from America, from Brazil. So basically it was also something to do with money. My money could only fit in the Chinese, the money, and also the Chinese are flexible because the engineers were willing to stay with me here in modest conditions, which I would not have managed with the European engineers. And the European machines were also very expensive compared to the Chinese.
So how much did you pay the Chinese to help you start up the machine? That is, if even they helped you.
No, I don't understand. I don't know whether it is helping. They didn't help because they were paid for each and everything. In fact, the Chinese are very interesting people, because when I was buying the machine, we made an agreement that they would be paid a certain amount of money per month. But when it came to the crunch to bring them, they doubled the price, and they were unwilling to come until I had to accept. There was nothing I could do. I paid twice as much. When I brought them here, they were supposed to complete the job in 1 month. They completed it in 3 months. Sometimes they would work for 2 hours and go to sleep. Sometimes they would go for a weekend. They don't turn up, but I had to put up with that. I don't know what I can say, but there was very little helping. I think there was even a little bit of bullying, I can say. But we had to bear with that, and I thank God that they at least fixed the machines. But one thing I must also warn somebody, the future people who are going to deal with the Chinese, and with the Chinese, because I must specify, they are not, sometimes they change their settlements, because they decided to leave some machines unfixed. I had to go to Nairobi and look for other engineers who are already in this industry to complete the factory, and yet I had paid a lot of money. Two, up to today, as we talk, there are certain machines which are very necessary, which they didn't fix, and even which they didn't load for me. I have just completed loading almost another consignment of factory to fit in here so that I can produce efficiently. So in case somebody is listening to me, Ugandan or somebody else, if you buy your factory in China, you must make sure you load your parts one by one, because when we reached here, almost half of the goods were not loaded. Thank God some of the things were in the market in Magembe. So I ended up paying almost twice. So nobody should take Chinese for granted.
Magembe's age cannot deter him to continue willingly and tirelessly to achieve a dream where all Ugandans will use city tissue toilet paper. The factory, which uses recycled paper that is bought in tons, is burnt in the cylinder with steam that moves from the outside into the inside basin. Where did you get the idea of toilet paper? Was it in the toilet? Where?
Well, Andrew, that's a very interesting, good question. Nobody has asked me that before, but I think I love it, and I'm going to put it in my diary. No, actually I thought about it when I was sitting on the dining. I was eating, enjoying my food. Then I said, after here, I'm going somewhere. But when I go somewhere, then I called my helper somewhere at home. So and so, I will not tell the name because maybe, but said, are we okay in the toilet? He says, no, we don't have toilet paper. So somebody had got to rush to the shop, and that is the time I realized how important the toilet paper can be. And then I decided never to have toilet paper missing in my house. So I said, how can I manage that? I must make my own factory. Then of course then the business part came in, realizing that it is the consumable item that make money, make regular money, make big money, and toilet paper is one of the most consumable things. So that's how the idea came, but it did not come in the toilet. It came on the dining table, and whenever you're on the dining table, the next thing is the toilet.
Usually spoiled, written paper and full scraps of plain paper grinded in the machine, then mixed in a tunnel while still wet. Paper is then produced in huge rolls and then finally placed on rails. Soon, a factory attendant takes time to split the rolls of paper and carefully cuts them into finished product, toilet paper. The active Magembe has a family which he hopes one day will take over the business. He fondly talks of the boys, while Mrs Magembe talks about the girls. One they notably talk about is Maimuna, who is currently working in the USA with an oil equipment company known as Baker Hughes, with branch offices in Kampala.
We don't count children in here.
Well, sorry. Who has the capacity to inherit all this wealth? I mean...
my strongest child is an engineer. She works with Baker Hughes in America, California. She's a field engineer. Although she's a girl, but I think I like her. She's hardworking, even when she was in school. She's obedient. She's a strong woman. She's still 24, but she's managing, and she's now at the supervisor there in the US, California. No, she's in California, although she keeps on moving back, Texas, California.
Our second boy is also an engineer. Actually, we think...
that one, the girl.
but the girl, my madam says the girl, but I think the problem we are going to have with the girl, she's already being paid a lot of money which we cannot afford to pay. Therefore, I think we shall stick on this boy, the second boy. He's also mastering his degree. He's got a degree in electrical and telecom engineering. Now he's getting masters. So, and he's also a very nice boy. I think he will take over from us. And my wife is a very good mathematician. So all her children, most of her children, are also very good mathematicians. They have been passing mathematics very well and physics very well. That's why amongst our children, 2 are engineers, 2 are training to be doctors. One is in the 3rd year, another one is in the 1st year. Another one is in the medical school in Mulago, and that is a girl. Another one is in China, doing his 3rd year, also doing medicine. But as you very well know, engineering, medicine, you must know a lot of math. And that math is not mine, it is from my wife. So that's where it stems.
The company, which is known as Citylight Holdings, found in Sangamatuga on Semuto Road, now has 20 employees producing 1 ton to 3 tons of paper daily. The challenge at this time is the unstable electricity, which has literally created minimal output that has underutilized the resources available. Magembe tried installing his own transformer, but the power is still a problem. Like any other man living, Magembe hopes to leave a legacy that will last in Uganda as a man who started a toilet paper business, one that is shunned by many.
I want to be remembered the first man who brought a factory in the Rural Triangle making toilet paper. That's what I would like to be remembered for. And as a second man who, next to the Chinese, started making toilet paper, because there are some other companies producing toilet paper, but they are cutting the finished product. Ours make the paper from rubbish paper up to the cutting. So I want to be remembered. I don't forget my wife, because my wife is the chief technical officer. The factory had failed. If it were not for my wife to go through the books.
Amongst his role models, I asked whom Magembe admires most.
There is one man who makes plastic papers, plastic jerrycans and other things. He's in Kenya. His brand is called Pole something. Kenipole. He's a short Indian, very smart and very simple, and he's very rich because he has got a lot of money, a lot of shares. But I like him because he's very simple, and I would like to be, at least I think I can make his money, and I would like to be as simple and modest and loving like him. I don't know his name, but I like him. He's one of the directors of Fina Bank, and I think I like him, I admire him, I would like to be like him.
The current breed of toilet paper in Uganda doesn't start from scratch like Magembe's. Most competitors import paper from Egypt and Turkey.
Now we have acquired land, 22 acres of land in Seta with the river crossing. So that's where we are planning to shift the factory, and that's when we shall start using trees. And we have already planted trees, cypress trees, which we think we'll be using, because normally we can use any trees, but we have to use cypress. But as for now, the machine which is supposed to crush the trees is not there. Therefore, we are using offcuts of papers from waste paper, those people who are manufacturing or making books, offices of the government, and so on and so forth. But, so we are using newspapers, we are using all the papers, but it's our plan, we must use the trees as well. Because we shall not cut your trees, don't worry. We will be using the dust from all these they will called wood chips, but we will be collecting them from carpenters, all the factories. There's a lot being wasted. You can mix it and then we shall make paper. So in the future, maybe 2 to 3 years, we shall be making now paper from wood.
Magembe hopes to expand his business to Africa in the near future. Now he's taking a look at Burundi, hopefully to start in Bujumbura capital.
Yeah, in the market in Burundi, I am targeting Burundi itself because I have already made my research. They don't have a toilet paper making machine. In Rwanda, there is one factory. In Congo, I don't know, but Congo being what it is, I think there is a big market. So I'm targeting Rwanda, Burundi, and Congo. And that's where actually I'm going to put the biggest factory, because now I am going to Burundi with a lot of confidence. I know what I'm going to do. When I was starting here, I didn't know what I was doing. Now I know the finance involved, because the problem I also had, this toilet paper is very bulky. I cannot produce it from very far because I need transport to bring it to the town, because the consumption is in town. Now, around Kampala, I can't get big land, but I am hoping to get, because Burundi is still virgin, I'm hoping to get big land in Burundi.
On the market, a sacket of toilet paper goes for 6,000 and 5,000, while a piece goes for 500 to 600 Ugandan shillings each. It is known as the cheapest, yet with great quantity. Mr. Magembe's influence has not only cut across in the tissue industry, but also in the fishing business and real estate businesses, where he rents out houses between 200,000 and 300,000 per month.
Because when the bank loan got exhausted and we were stuck, whatever was coming out of here is the one which is still helping a bit.
So how many rooms do you have, and also how many rooms are there in each room, in each?
Has got 2 bedrooms. There are 32 houses, and each has two bedrooms.
Now that there's an acre here, how much do people pay here in the real estate per house?
They pay 300.
And do they pay it to the bank account?
No, we collect physically.
Are you thinking of getting someone who will collect it?
Yeah. Tenants are becoming stubborn day by day. We might get one.
This place is located where? Is it in Kampala, in Wakiso? Please tell us, where is this place located?
Mbuya. Mbuya is in Kampala here, right?
How many roughly do you think are in these houses? How many people do you think are in this estate?
I know that there are 32 families. That's what I know. I don't know how many each family has, but I know that there are 32 families.
In your view, there's someone who is watching and they want to know something about real estate. Do you think it's a good venture?
Yeah, it's in Uganda it is, because it's the safest business to do at the time now. It's the only safest business at the moment.
Mr. Magembe owns also one of the oldest plazas along Luzira-Port Bell Road, which has shops and rentals behind it. The real estate business has grown over time and turned into a lucrative business for many individuals who now build houses, sell land, and provide affordable housing facilities, one of the major necessities for a growing population. Where are these houses found?
These houses, there are 8 houses, and they are the annex of the commercial plaza, which was famously called Magembe Plaza on Port Bell Road, which you have just seen. I don't know whether we shall see it again.
So you have 8 houses. How much rent does people pay here?
Not much. These people pay about 250, 200, like that.
The tax?
The tax is good, but the problem are the people collecting the tax. And to me, every tax has never been a problem. Tax is good because it develops the country. Even it develops the owner, because you never know. When there's excess money, that's the money we businessmen end up borrowing from Bank of Uganda through the commercial banks and so on. The government can always come to our rescue using the same tax if there is a problem. But the biggest problem with tax is the tax collectors inflating things. Like, for example, me, I have people who work in Uganda Revenue Authority. They know what they are paying, they have receipts, but he pays 250. Somebody comes to collect tax, he says, we have been told people are paying $200. And maybe you have never seen how a dollar looks like, you know?
Nelson Mandela one day said, a man without a house is not a man until he has one. A culture among Africans to acquire houses through renting or building. Mr. Magembe, who is receiving money monthly, hopes to change the payment system of tenants by incorporating bank accounts to make his work much more efficient in the long run. Mr. Magembe and his wife are among the very few enterprising Ugandans who are opening up to the world and sharing their long story of success, hoping some could learn or join them. Andrew Nitwe, Business.